Alright, I'm gonna play in a modern Festival Prelim in just a little bit. But I'd like to talk about the deck that I'm running. Whew, there's a lot of people playing this one. It's a 5-round event. It's gonna be a bit more serious than normal, F&Ms or whatever. So I thought this would be a good chance for me to record something. I'm gonna upload it whether I win or lose. I'm most likely, I'm just going to assume, go 3-2 or 2-3. So one of those are going to be the options that you might see. If I'm super lucky, who knows, maybe I'll go 5-0, but probably not. This is the deck I'm going to be running. It's a little bit experimental. I gotta clear my throat. It's going to be basically your classic Coco Zoo. Whatever you youngin' kids are calling it today. Collected Company. I'd just rather call it Big Zoo because, I mean, legitimately that's exactly what it is. The Collected Company is just taking place of more or less a Johnny Virgin or Ranger of Eros or Elspeth. I mean, or Chandra. It is basically it's just Zoo. It's Big Zoo with Collected Company as a sort of a CA engine, since there's a lot of one-for-one removal in Modern, so that's why it's good right now. Currently, I do think this is the best Zoo that you can run if you want to run Zoo. That might change with Gideon. I've been doing a little bit of testing, and Gideon's actually pretty alright in Zoo, because that's where he can most reliably flip over. Bear in mind that Zoo's a little bit different. It's still very green and white and less red. Red for Lightning Bolt, Tarka's Command, stuff like that. It's kind of a joke because it's a cat zoo. Anyways, I'm not talking about that one right now. I'm talking about this one. The changes that I made are still in here. I still think maybe this should be a Stirring Wildwood, but I don't want a come into play tapped resource, especially when I really want to put turn 1 Noble, turn 2 Knight, or Luxemon Smiter. That's pretty much what you want to do in the format right now. And then turn 3 Collected Company. It's too good to pass up right now. The things that I have changed is I've taken out 1 Scavenging Ooze for Voice of Resurgence. Right now, my reasoning is pretty simple. Scavenging Ooze in multiples against the blue decks are not good. Having 1 Scavenging Ooze is great, but 2 seems like they show up enough. Since I want them later on in the game, I don't necessarily want them right away. They die pretty much right away against the blue decks because the blue decks are also running red, so it kills Scavenging Ooze. But Voice of Resurgence is pretty good early on, and it's also good with Scavenging Ooze. The reason why you would run 3 Scavenging Ooze anyways is to kill out Twin, Grixis Delver, and also it has some utility against Junk. But Voice of Resurgence actually has less utility against Junk, but it's still pretty good because it replaces itself. But it also comes in against the same decks. So the idea is having 2-1 split rather than a 3-3, just a 3-0, is better, because I would rather see 2 Scavenging Ooze and Voice of Resurgence in my opener than 2 Scavenging Oozes. That's just pretty bad. Because then 1 Scavenging Ooze is basically, it's just fodder. But whereas if you see that in your opening hand, you can use Voice of Resurgence, let it die, then you get it replaced. You can also put in the Scavenging Ooze afterwards, eat up the thing that died. So it's actually pretty alright there. I wouldn't go down to less than 1. I wouldn't switch it. I wouldn't go 2-1, because I want this against Jund and Junk. The Knight of the Rolquaries, these are all good cards. The main deck is pretty stable here. That was the only change that I really made. The sideboard's changed a lot since the last time I've played. Since the last time I did, I think just a paper report is what I did. I recorded it, but it wasn't worth putting up. And yeah, it has changed a lot. So this is based off of Paul Ritzel's Zoo, which is based off of things like Crazy Cow and Flacco's and Osakpo's Zoo. So I'm more or less using his guide. I did sort of take a lot of his stuff to heart. Some of the things I switched out, though, was the Dromoka's Command instead of a choke, and my reasoning is pretty simple. It comes in for all the same matchups. The 3 slot was a little crowded with all, again, you'd have these Blood Moons, and then these other things that would come in at 3 mana. So I tried to change up my mana a little bit. If I just sort this by curve, you'll see that it's definitely a little bit more to the 2 end rather than the 3 end now. So that's my reasoning for there. And then I also added in trackers instead of Lavamancers. Lavamancers, I think I've used them out of so far 25 matches that I've seen them. I may have hit opponent's face twice with them, and the only times that I've hit them was once because it was enough for me to help win the game with some burn, and then the other time was because it was about to die, and I had nothing else to do with it. So it's not really good to say, oh yeah, I used it to burn face a lot. I don't. I have basically never used it to burn face here. It was also getting a little awkward because it was hard for me, other than the initial one or two times with my my mana that would go into the graveyard, and occasionally like a path or a bolt that I would use Grim, but it would start being awkward because of Night and because of Tarmogoyf. Also, it was a little awkward because while I could feed it with Night, Night actually wanted to beat down more than feeding a Grim Lavamancer. So I'm going to try the Uberwall Tracker out. Kibler has done that before. It's not like something, this is tech that I'm pulling out of my butt. He's done this before for Big Zoo, specifically his reasoning saying the mana cost to activate it is not so bad, because when you start activating it's around turn 3, turn 4, so you've got the mana for it with your mana dorks anyways. And you've usually got something bigger out too, like a Knight or something. So it's worth doing. It's also green, so it fits the mana base actually a little bit better. There have been awkward times where I've needed to have red up for Keswick Wolf Run and also for Grim activations. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to fare, but I think it might fare all right. The other thing that I'm using is Fiery Justice. Fiery Justice, I think, is better than Bonfire of the Damned. Yes, we can support a Bonfire of the Damned. In a 22 land zoo with 5 mana dorks, yes, we can support it. It would have been better, to be honest with you, to do a 23 land sort of zoo with it, with 6 mana dorks. That's where I prefer to do it. But Bonfire, I think this basically has the same effect. Yeah, we'll keep this hand. This seems like a very keepable hand. Bonfire more or less has the same. The Fiery Justice more or less has the same effect. I don't care that I'm giving my opponent's life because it's going to kill things off that were going to block my Knight anyways. We're going to start on a Temple Garden. And we're going to start with Noble Hierarch because we have a Luxodon Smiter in hand, rather than try to slow roll it with the Noctil for a more aggressive start. I don't know what he's playing, so I'm just going to go with Noble Hierarch plan. The Noble Hierarch plan is safer too, because it puts me on Melorapod, maybe, if he ignores the fact that I just use a Wood Foothills to get there. And I might be Collected Company, or I could be that 5-color sort of Kiki company. Thoughtseize. Well, there goes that. So he's probably Jund or Grizzlebrand. Go ahead and get rid of my Luxodon Smiter, my friend. Go ahead. See, do it. Come on, do it. We're sort of immune to our Smiter getting discarded at any rate, because, well, if he gets discarded, he comes right into play, and that's the obvious play that we're going to make anyways. So this Thoughtseize was actually not the worst. Puts 2 damage on him. Sure. Ooze. So he's probably Jund if that's the case, or he still could be Grizzlebrand. Those are the things. I'm revealing information by showing that I have the Arid Mesa here, but I would rather thin my deck and put some lands in the graveyard than not do it. Let's see. I've got access to red. I'm going to need white and green more than I'm going to need anything else. So we're going to get white here. No reason to kill myself over how much damage I've got. I can also... Actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and cast Tarmogoyf off of this. Change of plans, because he used Thoughtseize. I'm opening up myself to, I don't know, 2 damage, but he's not gonna... He's gonna bolt it. He's gonna bolt it, you know, so it doesn't really matter too much. Put this down tapped next turn regardless. Because, I mean, what do you have? Like, Pillar of Flames? he uses Pillar of Flames, I'm not too hurt by it. I think he's probably Grizzlebrand based on that play. Just go ahead and attack. He could be leaving up what do you call it? Terminate like I assumed. But that's fine. We're still getting in there for 3. Attacking by itself wouldn't have been the correct move anyways. So, well, I actually prefer Jund, because Junk is a lot harder to play against, especially with all their life gain effects. The Thoughtseize is making me lead me to believe that it's Jund that we're playing against. We got a pretty good way to overload the board here. If he's gonna go for green to actually be Jund, yeah, he's got to either hurt his mana base to do that, or he's got to do something opposite. That's fine. That's not what I wanted to see, but luckily with at least Exalted triggers, we can still attack in for 5 here. And he can block Bolt. That's an option. Or we can take the 5. He's going to take the 5. Alright, so we've got him at a virtual 6. Something I'd like to see him play here would be... that's funny. Sure. Something I'd like to see him play was not Bolt, because that's going to actually turn off this move. I can still attack and still get him for 3. Bring him down to a virtual 3 if he doesn't cast any creatures. If he casts a Lily, I guess that's something. I would assume that Lily would go up to make me discard. Tarmogoyf is pretty tough here. Yeah, he's not going to want to attack here. What I want to see him play is actually a Dark Confidant, because then I can kill him. This is interesting. All right, so now I got 2 bolts and I have the ability to cast both bolts. So assuming I can sneak in 3 more damage, we've got this. So if he attacks at any point in time, I can hit for 3. I'm guessing this is Lily. Assuming Lily's going to go up here. Sacrifice a creature. Okay. We'll sack the card that dies to Bolt. So the discard thing is not really that relevant here, so I'm actually going to throw a bolt to his face. No, I don't want to redirect. The question is, do I want to throw another bolt to his face? He's going to have to discard. That's not really going to matter. I'm not going to the attack through thing's not really going to matter here. Collected Company is the only card that I'd want to pay for 4 mana, and if that's the case, well, I mean, the discard thing's relevant, but so is Collected Company relevant here. Ah, fuck it. We're not... If he's got a Dark Confidant, he would have casted it already. So let's pop into 3. Alright, Wooded Foothills. We'll play it. It's not like I'm hiding anything. If anything, I'll just go ahead and crack it and then be able to sort of thin my deck again. I mean, it is the difference between dying in 2 swings rather than 1 swing. So I guess actually I probably don't. Double swing, huh? Okay, so I don't crack the land. Simple as that. Not gonna block. If he's got a bolt T, I mean, that ends the game anyways. The only way that I'd have an out would be to bolt here myself. He's gonna abrupt decay his own Lily. Oh, yep, I guess that's the that's death, huh? Yep. Yeah, there's nothing I can do about that. He had the good draws. I sort of didn't draw super well. I guess with a Serum, or with a Smiter, the Scavenging Ooze, I might have been able to pull through on that one. But alas, you know, that's what happens sometimes, man. So let's see here. Paul Rietzel says against Jund. I'm just trying to still take his advice, because you know Paul Rietzel's my coach right now. To bring in Thalias, bring in Grim Lawmancers, take out the Pride Mages, take out the bolts, or take out one bolt. My deck is a little bit different than his though, so I'm gonna bring in a couple other things too. So Thalias, I actually don't want to bring in Thalias here. Let me think about that real quick. Because if I bring in the trackers to fight things, which actually would have helped there if I had a tracker out with my Exalted trigger, but I've got less Exalted triggers. Fiery Justice and Dramaca's Command are also good here. Take out a bolt. Take out the Kusali Pride Mages because he thinks they're useless there. I suppose I could take out a Voice of Resurgence if I really wanted to as well. Collected Company. No, I'm gonna take out the Thoughtseizes or the Thalias because I've got 12 other spells that get affected by Thalia. That's not such a huge number that I'm mad about Thalia. What do I do here? Got a minute to think this out. Realistically, I'd like to keep in the Scavenging Oozes, especially because that'll help me with Dramaca's Command and Fiery Justice. Tracker's a little more difficult. I want to get up in my mana with birds. I could take out a birds. I'm going to take out a birds and a Voice of Resurgence, because I'm going to, if the game starts grinding, I should be able to get my mana anyways. Ooh. Bolt and crappiness. Yeah, we gotta mulligan this. We'd still mulligan even if this was a birds. Can I scry on my first turn? Oh jeez, I'm gonna like totally lose to the scry thing, or due to the mulligan effect. Mulligan. Well, this round sucks to say the least. There's just no way I was gonna make it through with a hand that had no land like that. Maybe a big ass Knight of the Reliquary is enough to get me by. He hasn't casted anything. That probably just means that he's got, you know, like delve cards in his hands or something. That's way better. Way better than, you know, what I got. Horizon Canopy. What do we play out here? Next turn he probably plays a Lily and then kills off whatever I cast. So it doesn't matter if I have a Luxodon Smiter in my hand or not. I'm going to play Luxodon Smiter. Yeah, I'm going to play Luxodon Smiter. Knight is a little bit worth more. If he's got, like, an Abrupt Decay that's end of turn here to kill off something, I'd rather it be my Luxodon Smiter than my, you know, maybe 6/6 Knight of the Reliquary. I think that's what he's going to go for, at any rate. Right, Abrupt Decay on my Luxodon Smiter. Yep, see? Called it. Nailed it. Even though I'm losing, I still got chops, man. I still got my chops. Bunch of paths. I could theoretically pull out of this if and only if he's got nothing really. He's got no removal after that. And we're hanging on to Knight. That's our only out. If not, I can hang on but do nothing else. It's not. That's not good. If I see him tap mana, I'm screwed here. Yep. Yep. I mean, I'm playing a 1-for-1 deck that I had a mulligan down to, like, what, 5-4 with? I've got no chance in this one. I've already know that. But we'll play it out. Yeah, we drew a fantastic card off that. Fantastic. Sometimes this is why I want to play Little Zoo, because, like, feeling like this never really happens on Little Zoo. Like, you're at least got a little bit of gas to go for. I'll let you run into shortstops. Yeah, unless he just has, like, a shitty hand, which he can't even really have because he's got the Raging Ravine. The only way I know he's got a crappy hand is if he turns on his Raging Ravine, which he's not doing right now. Baloth. Gross as hell. Through path right now. I mean, it's no difference than pathing on my next turn. If he's already got 4 mana to basically do anything he wants with it. Get rid of it. All I'm doing is maybe thinning his deck out, but I'd rather have the chance of being able to cast a Collected Company, next turn. Because that's the only way I'm coming back in this game. Well, or I get a land and it does absolutely nothing. Yeah, this is a terrible round 1. Sorry, guys. You know, this happens sometimes. This happens at times. Nothing more I can say. So, there's Noble Hierarch. Or, yeah, Noble Hierarch. Doesn't really do much. He's going to gain himself life regardless. We're in an awkward spot here where if we bolt to this, doesn't matter because he'll just use it to gain another life off of our dude. So we just gotta let it go through. Eat my land, huh? That stinks. Yeah, we don't want him to eat any more of our lands. So we'll have to path him now. It's not the tumultuous end of our zoo. We're just playing to survive at this point. As I'm sure he's got something that's about to kick my ass regardless. Turn on Raging Ravine. Sure. Kill off his Raging Ravine. Now we're out of cards. He's got a full grip of 6. Can still destroy our Noble Hierarch here. Yep. It's just a crappy situation all around. Oh, we have a path to keep living, although that's not going to do anything. Look, we're totally not going to win this game. We can path his Raging Ravine if he decides to go for that for some reason instead of any other stuff, you know? Not that it matters. There's no chance that this is happening. He's just doing this just to keep grips of his cards in hand. Like other than that, or he's got like just tons and tons of removal in his hand that just doesn't matter because I just don't have any creatures. in either case scenario, there's no way I'm winning out of this one. The only way that I win is if he's got nothing but like lands, and I just keep trying like lands and removal, man. Like it's insane how much I'm not winning this game. The only way I can win this game is if for some reason I can outdo his 1-for-1 removal, start doing Keswick Wolf run. We're just gonna get slowly lilied to death. It's crappy, to say the least. Let's gain him some life, because why not? We can redirect it to Lily. And kill off Lily. We gain him life off of that, but I mean, we couldn't hold on to it because he'll just +1 it. Yeah, there's the Tarmogoyf. He just finally drew some way to kill us. And we draw more land. Fantastic. Would he just feed the clan just to win more life on us? Yeah, this is a pretty bad round. I'm trying to think of outs here. Like, trying to keep it, like, what could I have done for outs? The answer is not very much. Not much. I mulled for forever. It makes me now a full supporter of that mulligan thing. I'm gonna lose the game at him at 36 here. We've got absolutely no way to. The only way I could possibly imagine to crawl out of this is he's holding lands in his hand, and we have to then cast a. No, there's no way out of this. There's none. We're just gonna play through to play through, because that's what good players do. Neither Elquary, are you actually my way out of here? Does he not have removal for you? We were banking on him not having removal beforehand, but he's most definitely got it. Tap, tap, Abrupt Decay. Bolt. Is he just gonna bolt me to death? Abrupt Decay, swing. What has he got here? That's gonna kill me. Maelstrom Pulse. Engineer for 3. Oh, concede game. Yeah, he just had all the answers. Dude, Jund is a bad match. It's hard to win that one. A lot of me wants to play Small Zoo again, although I understand that it's not such a great idea, simply because Jund exists as well as Junk, as well as a number of other stuff. But you know, while Twin and Control and Delver are the best, this is the best list you can rock. Just Jund is just a bad match. So is what do you call it? So is Tron. So you know, it's weird. You got a 54 win % rate with Nyazu. But whatever. You know what? One round down is not the worst in the world. We'll see if we can crawl out of this.